Hello, hello.
Oh, hello, hello. There we go.
Happy Friday, Justin.
Happy Friday, Eric. I can't wait to go through 40 reasons on why you're such a great person for this entire episode. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I already did that. Not
We
doing
don't
it
need to
again.
we don't need to bore the audience with 40 reasons. Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, but
We are currently on episode 43.
ooh, 43. We're getting close to a year of doing this. And today is National Sunglasses Day, which is why you cannot see our eyes. We are looking at the camera, I think, maybe not. Um, Celebrating as we're going into July, we're going into summer. I don't know who created this national holiday. I don't remember. I think someone responsible for vision.
Yeah, well, why don't we go through a couple real quick facts about sunglasses and protecting our eyes, and then we'll get on with the rest of the news.
Sounds great.
So, obviously, sunglasses have been around for quite some time, but really, a fun fact for you
Yeah.
is that ancient Chinese judges used tinted lenses to hide their expression during trials. Incredible.
Got it. Got it. I
Yeah,
do that for my one-on-ones.
that's actually really smart. Yeah, poker face all day long with the
Yeah.
one-on-ones.
Yeah.
Sunglasses really gained popularity after the 1930s, when UV protective lenses were created. Really gained popularity in the 50s, right? Celebrities, Hollywood celebrities, of course, made it real fashionable to have sunglasses.
Yeah.
Uh, but you can wear sunglasses even on cloudy days because it still protects your eyes from
It does.
UV
There's
rays.
there's there's some brightness that reflects off of the clouds. That's a good tidbit.
Yep, and there's definitely a lot of advantages to wearing sunglasses, not just for retirees in Florida, but really just kind of help protect against things like cataracts,
Hmm.
macular degeneration, and other eye problems that are caused by UV.
Yeah. So wear your sunglasses. That's the
That's right.
moral, right?
Sponsored by Luxottica. Yes, the
I
dominant
wish.
player in eyewear, Luxottica essentially owns
Mhm.
almost all of the brands that you love, know, and trust. It's only a matter of time before they gobble up everything. They're actually an Italian brand. Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, well, good to know.
Massive, massive conglomerate.
Yeah.
We have a special guest.
We do have a special guest. She just put out a commercial like today. We made it happen. Who do we have, Eric?
We're gonna bring in Faith here. We're gonna bring in Faith to
Faith
make us
Barker.
look
She's got her
cool. Oh
sunglasses.
man, oh
Nice.
man, yeah, yeah.
Happy
Protecting
Friday.
those pupils. Hey, thanks for joining us
Faith,
today.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here. Long time
Faith,
listener,
you're
time caller.
yeah, long term. I love it. Thank you so much for your vote of confidence, and
Yes.
thank you for coming in literally minutes before the show. Justin and we both saw your post today, but Justin was the bright one who said, "Well, hey, let's include this," and I was like, "Yeah, let's get Faith in here, right?" Yeah.
Yeah. It was,
Well,
it
thank
was
you for
meant to
thinking of me.
be. Yeah.
It
So
was definitely
tell us about this. I know it's clever, but there's a lot of like really good things that you're kind of promoting as well. How did you kind of come up with this idea? I think some of us know, but why don't you share?
sure. So, I mean, it's really important to be able to push out all opportunities in our industry. And that's something that I'm always really passionate about doing. There's so much great opportunities like this program that people can get involved in. But often, if you're not really in the know on like what's going on, you might not catch these really good opportunities. And so I was just going through my LinkedIn and I was seeing how all I keep seeing is the apartmentalized posts because there's been that algorithm glitch.
Uh-huh.
And then if it's not that, it's someone complaining that they keep seeing all the apartmentalized posts. But then also knowing that this initiative is now open and out there for the next month or so to apply for. So I thought, we're all getting a little bit victimized by these posts. And, what would a good commercial do? It would be those law commercials you see late at night when you can't sleep and they're talking about, mesothelioma or something like that. And, while certainly not as scary as mesothelioma, an excessive post can give you a little bit of FOMO too. So
Yeah.
why not use it as kind of a fun opportunity to advertise some cool offerings going on for next year?
Yeah, I think. Well, there's so many great things about it, right? But I think what's an important reminder is for those of us. I mean, it's hard to imagine when you go to like 12,000 people that not everyone's there, right?
Yeah.
That not everyone's, but there's like the industry's huge, and it is just a fraction of what it is. So even though like Eric and I might see, hundreds of apartmentalized things, and we walked that trade show floor, or we sat in those sessions, there's a whole bunch of people that are seeing just that little sliver of it, and they don't know what it is because they've never been. So I think that was a great like call out without really calling it out, but like that's a important fact that I think can get lost to veterans or people that have done this for a while.
Absolutely. And what I kind of try to focus on and putting it on LinkedIn specifically is that NAA posts this stuff out there. They're sending the emails, they're putting it on Instagram, but how many of our on-site teams, the ones that have the CAM, the CAM-T, the CALP or CAPS, how many of them are regularly looking at those? Or how many of those are even registered with their apartment association where that's coming up? They just might not know unless we put it out there in other ways for them to find it.
Yeah, definitely. Eric, what caught your eye about it? As a marketer, the two marketers here, officially marketers.
Something I really like about what you did was, you did something raw, something really, simple, raw, obviously not meant to be ridiculously polished, but meant to poke fun at things that are ridiculously polished. And on top of that, you captured attention, and then you brought our attention to something that's even more important, right? So you kind of like did the slingshot effect. So I really do appreciate what you did with this, and it makes sense. This is a 1+1 = 3, right? If you missed out on NAA, if you've been dealing with all these crazy, 2 and 3 week old posts, because I mean, what a terrible time for someone who had FOMO, right? Like not only did you miss Apartmentalize, but you're seeing posts that are
Newly
you know
remote.
teams gearing up for Apartmentalize 2 weeks later, right? And it's just
I logged in today, like as I was like doing things, and the first 3 posts were people that were like boarding the plane to go to Vegas for Apartmentalize, and I was, and it's kind of like our own little Groundhog Day. We just get to keep living, right? Like we just didn't we do this? I did have something that I wanted to ask you because I talked about it this week. It'll be my shameless plug for Steve Wunsch's Multifamily Mind podcast. I talked about creativity. What I loved about this, obviously, was it was uber creative, and it kind of just did exactly what it was supposed to do. When you look at recaps, Faith, from conferences, not just Apartmentalize, but anything, like what are the ones that are creative to you or stand out to you because they're doing something in a particular way that isn't just the same old, here's a selfie with the team, here's like 5 takeaways. Like what's something that really sticks out for you?
I really like when there's a post for like a specific session you go to or something like that. And it really highlights what are the differentiating factors, like what are the new things you're walking away from with this. And that's what I think is the most valuable, because there's so many people that can't come for a variety of reasons. But if we can take that information and make that more accessible to more people, I think that's really powerful.
Yeah. I would call that niching down. That's what I think, right? Which is like, you don't need to necessarily have the 30,000, like, oh, we talked about AI at Apartmentalize, but if you're able to talk about one specific thing and put that out there, I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. Like what's the one thing that was really cool? What's the one thing you're going to walk away from with this that, would be helpful for other people in our industry to know?
Yeah. Very cool. Awesome stuff.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us. I literally messaged her less than 35 minutes ago, and she made it happen. So
and that's on efficiency.
Well, have a happy sunglasses day to you, Faith, and have a great weekend and a happy summer. And hopefully we'll see each other soon.
Sounds good. Likewise. Thanks for inviting me, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Faith. Bye-bye. Well, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Why don't we thanks, Faith, again for coming on in short notice. You wanna pop into some news? You wanna actually cover some news
Wait, what
here?
do we do here again? That was news, man. That was news.
This was news.
Yes.
This is true.
But people did do some recaps. It wasn't just the LinkedIn like kind of glitch that happened. People did do some recaps. One that got a lot of traction because it involved a lot of different companies was multifamily dive into 5 apartment tech innovations that they took away from our apartmentalize.
Yep, that's right. And I think some of the things that they called out here definitely make sense. They talked about maintenance system upgrades, right? Maintenance is becoming a more hot topic thanks to things like AI, Entrada recently added some AI powered things into their suite.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so
That
they
was a big
layered some
launch.
intelligence in there. Yep, I know.
Yes.
Our good friends at MRI recently had, and we did talk about their collaboration, their partnership with Pinata, but that unlocked really like a rental rewards program with credit reporting as well.
Yeah. And RealPage lined up with OpenAI, which is from ChatGPT, the same ownership, and they were launching kind of a new product. I think it's Lumina
Lumina.
AI, right?
Yep.
Yes, that
Yep.
was a big announcement. What was the other one? There's 2 more here.
Pneumatics
Right,
has
they
some
launched
energy
energy management.
management.
That was another big launch. Kind of using the network of all of their hardware, their sensors, all that IoT things to be able to get data, to be able to track and improve and manage energy and sustainability, and then some other sensor stuff, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amazon. Amazon. Well, Jeff Bezos is, I think, currently getting married right now, but Amazon is busy getting married. But if you
Mhm.
want access to the wedding, then you need the Amazon key,
Right, right. Yes,
obviously.
that was one of the things. Amazon Key kind of moving into the outdoor space or the access control space. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
it really just goes into their entire platform, which is connected in with Ring, so you can
Mhm.
both give access and share access. And this is more on the multifamily side, so they're going from residential world into multifamily here and really doubling down.
Yeah. And outside of the apartmentalized world, there was some other news. There was some news from HUD this week, right?
Yeah, that's right. We do have a little thingy here on our friends at HUD. So essentially, in order to make multifamily housing a little bit easier for developers, the HUD administration is announcing a proposed reduction in the MIP, the mortgage insurance premium, trying to take it down about 25 basis points, uh, because really there's been such a rise in construction costs and mortgage insurance rates since 2021. So this is their attempt
Yeah.
to kind of knock some things down. So that's going to go through about 30 days of public comment, and then I believe it's going to go through.
Yeah. Yeah. And kind of a needle mover sort of in this middle part of the year. So I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
see if it does go through, it looks like it will, how that will kind of affect the back half, basically.
Yep. Yeah. Mortgage rates stayed steady. They're staying steady at this point. So I think
Yeah.
this is just we're kind of in a stalemate here with a lot of things.
Yeah. And for the 3rd week in a row, we're going to talk about Ronald Harrington again. He just keeps he keeps
Yeah.
doing things that are, that you want to talk about. This week he announced what?
So Ronald announced a group. He created a was it the brain
Multi the
bounce?
multifamily brain bounce. Yeah.
The multifamily brain bounce. I think that's kind of interesting. Just, trying to get people to bounce ideas off of each other and the training side of things,
Hmm.
which I think is really interesting. One of my biggest complaints about our industry is that we don't share enough information. And I think, strategically, a lot of organizations are not going to do that, or it's kind of frowned upon, understandably, certain reasons behind not sharing trade secrets. But when it comes to education, I think
Hmm.
there is a lot of room for collaboration there.
Yeah, and I think also too, it's another type of informal mentorship that might be like maybe micro mentorship, right? Where you're solving this like one solution or one problem, like you're kind of coming up with something or you're brainstorming. You can't always necessarily brainstorm something with your manager or with your entire team. Like organizations aren't set up that way because everyone's moving so many things so fast. So this is a great thing to say, hey, I'm working on a particular campaign. I'm trying to close a particular deal. I'm trying to increase my, occupancy. I like, and there anything you can do to discuss that, like, I think will improve everybody, right? Will improve everybody. It's a good
Yeah,
initiative.
yeah,
Any
very cool.
other breaking news, things that you've noticed, things that you've seen?
Um, no, I forget. I'm getting old in my old age. Yeah, the
Yeah,
memories
what's
just.
now that you're on the other side, or you're in your fourth floor? Any insight that you have for
Um,
for us?
yeah, it's not much of a difference. The main difference is you're gonna probably start to feel old, probably start to feel 40 before you actually are 40. No, I think the key to success is just keep moving, keep grooving, keep maintaining your network, your relationships. One of the biggest challenges getting older for anyone, man, woman, dog, cat, is we start to, our network oftentimes reduces, right? Our available friendship pool reduces, right? Because we niche down in the people we like. And I think something that I try to pride myself on is continuing to build relationships with new people. I think that's such an important part of feeling and being alive, and really doing it like cross generational. Connecting with the new generation of people that you can speak with not only in your industry but also outside of your industry. I think that's so vital to get multiple perspectives and to move things forward. So that, and we probably need some younger politicians with some new vantage points and viewpoints. I think that's important for anyone, to have that cross generational viewpoint, and those people should be representing us.
Yeah. Well, that was a very nice elderly editorial, Eric.
Oh,
Nicely done. I think that it concludes the biggest news. You should also definitely check out the weekend review that I shared this morning. There are some job postings around. There's some other kind of highlights. A big news this week that kind of came out was Margaret Hepfer. She is at C-suite at Willow Bridge, is stepping into the executive director of resident loyalty at Built. And she shared a
mm.
great letter from Doug Bibby about that, about welcoming her and talking about the alliance and sort of what they're building over there. There's always news. There'll be news next week, but next Friday is what?
I believe it's the 4th of July.
It is the 4th of July. We will not be live. We will be around online, so you'll see something from us, but we will not have a regular episode. So episode, I guess, 44 will actually be a week later.
That's right. Yep. We'll take a nice little break. Everyone deserves a break. So we hope everyone's, if you are traveling, please be safe. Uh, and if you're not traveling, then, enjoy, stay cool, stay hydrated, put the sunscreen on, definitely need it.
Wear your sunglasses.
And yeah, if you're lighting fireworks off, be careful.
I bet this place sells illegal fireworks. Just go in and act casual like you buy 'em all the time. Let me have one of those porno magazines. Large box of condoms, a bottle of Old Harper, a couple of those panty shields, and some illegal fireworks, and one of those disposable enemas. No, make it 2.
My apologies, sir, but the sale of fireworks is prohibited in this state and is punishable by a... Follow me. Any red-blooded flag-feeding American would love the M320. Celebrate the independence of your nation by blowing up a small part of it.
All right.
And with that, happy weekend.
Happy weekend, everyone. Bye bye.